Hey guys, it's Jessica and welcome back to my channel, and today I have a DIY fairy garden tutorial for you guys. And you don't have to create your fairy garden just like mine, because they are to be creative in your own way and they're just so much fun to make, so I thought it'd be neat for me to make a video. And if you guys want to see how awesome and cool this garden looks at night, please watch this video all the way to the end because it looks gorgeous at night. So here's a layout of all the supplies that I used. You guys might need more or less, just depending on what you want to do. So I already planted all of my flowers in the beginning of the video, and I stuck a stick down into the area where I wanted the house to go so it wouldn't fall over, and then I added another house up on the top second layer. Then for the pond, me and my sister actually created this last year out of resin, rocks, glitter, and some other little knickknacks, and if you guys would like a tutorial on that, please comment down below. Then using this little lantern that I bought from Michael's, I thought it would be super cute to have by the house. Now using some twine, I'm measuring out for a ladder to go in, so the little fairy animals have a way to get up and down to the second layer. Once I had the long pieces cut out, then I had to go through and cut all the short pieces of the ladder. Then when I finally got all those little pieces cut out, I had to take the 2 toothpicks and stick them into the dirt, and then from there I hot glued the long pieces of string to those toothpicks so I'd have a sturdy base for the ladder. And once I got them glued on and the glue cooled down a little bit, I used my fingers to help kind of mold the glue all the way around the twine, but you want to be careful with that so you don't burn your fingers. So once that dried, I positioned the toothpicks in a distance that I thought would be good spacing for the ladder. And then I just hot glued the short rungs onto my little makeshift ladder. Once I finally had all those glued on, I stuck the ladder into the top flower pot, and then I took 2 more toothpicks and hot glued them onto the bottom of the ladder, so then I would also be able to stick them down into the bottom half of the flower pot to make it have a nice sturdy structure and shape. And then when the glue dried, I placed the ladder where I thought it would look good. Then using this little white fence that I got from Joanne, I believe, a year or 2 ago, I wanted it to go around the house, and I couldn't quite get it the way I wanted. I wanted it to look like a gate or something, so I decided to actually cut my little fence in half. Well, it wasn't exactly in half, but close enough. So how I did this is I took my scissors, made a little indentation in the wire, bent the fence back and forth, and then cut it again so it finally came apart. And then I left a little opening in between the fences so it looked like there was a gate or an opening for the little fairy animals to get into. Then I got some rocks and I placed them around my fairy garden to make it have a little path for the little fairy animals to walk around. And the first way I had it placed I didn't really like, so I went through and redid it, and I think it turned out really, really cute. Then once I got the bottom all done, then I went ahead and did the top basically the same way. And once I had all those rocks placed, then I placed in another rock that I thought would look kind of neat. And then I grabbed a bench that I made last year out of toothpicks, wire, and hot glue. If you guys would like a tutorial on that, please comment down below. And then I went ahead and placed in the little chipmunks because I decided they would live up on top. Then down below I added in my raccoon in a boat into the little pond, my bunny rabbit hauling carrots, and my hedgehog reading a book. And I got all of my animals either from efairies.com, Michael's, or Gordman's. And finally my hobo squirrel, which is one of my favorites. Oh, and I added in my swinging turtle upstairs. And then I added a rock and a little lettuce garden. And for the lettuce garden, I also wanted it to be fenced in, so I used toothpicks again. Toothpicks are awesome for fairy gardens. But anyway, I used the toothpicks to kind of make a little fence around the lettuce so no one can come in there and steal the little chipmunk's lettuce. And then I also had a hummingbird that I wanted to add in, and I decided to put it back behind that rock so it would look like it was perched on top of the rock. And I had an extra piece of wood and an extra rock left over, and I didn't really know what to do with them, so I just placed them on top of the big rock for the time being. And then finally I added in the hollow glitter, which I think is one of the best parts. Any type of glitter you add in, it's going to add a little bit more magic to your fairy garden. And finally, I added in some string lights. So what I did is I took a stake in the very back of the fairy garden, and then I used toothpicks to help stick the actual string lights into the dirt so they would stay in place exactly where I wanted them. And one thing I forgot to note, if you look in the fairy garden, I'll circle them or something. There's 2 sets of mushrooms that I put in the fairy garden. I made those myself out of clay, wire, paint, and if you guys would like a tutorial on those, I would be more than happy to do so. Then I had a second string of string lights, and I wanted to add those up top so it would kind of be very cohesive. And once I had it all the way done, I realized I had a little bit of extra, so I thought it'd be really cool to bring it around and wrap it up the lantern, so that way at nighttime it'll look like the lantern is lit up, and it actually turned out really, really good, and it looks so neat at night. So that's it. The fairy garden is all done, and look at it. I mean, it is just beautiful, especially with the hollow glitter. I just think it looks so magical. I'm so in love with this fairy garden. I hope you guys did enjoy this tutorial, and like I said earlier, if there's any items in here that you would like a tutorial on, like the pond, the bench, the mushrooms, or anything that I'm not thinking of, please comment down below because I would be extremely happy to make those tutorials for you guys. But I hope you found this entertaining or helpful, or for whatever reason you're watching this video, I hope you enjoyed it. I really appreciate you watching it, and if you did enjoy, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys in my next one. So sending pugs and kisses your way. Bye!